This is Robert Carthol. I'm opening the November 7, 2024 zoning hearing officer meeting, calling the meeting to order. I'll indicate for the record that there's no public comment to be offered other than comment associated with each of the various hearing zoning cases that I have today. I have no minutes to approve at this meeting. And now I will call the first zoning case, which is Ajax 24070. This is a request for variation to reduce the corner side yard setback for a new attached garage addition from the required 30 feet to approximately 22 feet. The Milton Township case on about a half an acre lot serviced by well and septic. The matter was published in the Daily Herald on October 23rd, 2024. And I have no comments of substance from any of the authorities to whom I've circulated the petition. Some health department, stormwater department indicate that they'll need additional information if the matter proceeds. I have three exhibits that have been presented before the hearing. The first is a survey which looks like a July of 2012 survey. And then I have a site plan on which some additional information has been indicated on the survey. And then I have a letter from April Hajek. One person is here. Are you Miss Hajek?
I am Mrs. Hajek, yes.
Okay, and you were sworn in before the hearing started?
Yes.
Would you spell your name and tell us your address?
Name is April, April. Last name is Hajek, Hajek. Address is 3S732 Dallas Road, Naperville, Illinois, 60563.
Okay, go right ahead.
I've come to request the hardship. We've been in our home since 2012 and our garage is very small. I think we're actually the only house in the whole subdivision that has a single car garage. But it's an older home, so the garage is very small. Once you put a lawnmower and a few things in there, you can't get a car in there. And so at this point, my husband's looking at hopefully going to retire in another year or two. We would like to be able to expand the property, expand the garage that we have by one car while he's still working so that we could pay for it, so that we could get our car into it. We do have two cars and a pickup truck, and it's just become more and more difficult. Our driveway is settled, it's asphalt, but it's settling in right in front of the garage door. It ponds very badly. If we get severe rain or heavy rain, it can be up to your ankle. So we need to redo the driveway. And in looking at that, we wanted to try to see if we couldn't do this. We started this process back in, maybe May of this year with several different contractors. We tried to do a detached garage. That's what we figured would be the easiest and best. But based on the way our home sits, it's on an angle on our property, and the septic field is behind us and the well is in front of us. So they're doing a detached wouldn't work because we just don't have the space for that. We do have the space based on the angle to come out, and it's that angle of that corner of the garage for the addition that really necessitates this variance. We would still be well off the road. It will enhance the property. I've spoken with my neighbor, Dean Grant. He was in agreement with it. I do have a drawing from the builder that shows what essentially the finished product would look like, and the home would certainly be enhanced, and the property value would definitely go up from that as well.
is it an exact drawing of what's gonna be built, or is it some sort of a rendering of kind of a concept plan?
Um.
The
Well,
only reason I ask
Yeah.
is whether it's a necessary exhibit. I am for the most part interested in the footprint, which I have on your.
yes,
On
and,
your site.
I think it's, um. It may be more decorative, because it's filled in with color, so I'm not sure that would really be
Yeah.
what you're looking at that.
No, it's not something that I need because
Sure.
my concern is pretty much the footprint, because you're encroaching into the corner side yard. Your encroachment is like 8 feet, which is not dramatic. And I understand there's not not really any alternative. Did you, is this, I'm gonna show you the corner of your survey. Is this the area that your septic is in? Where it says lot 31?
Yes, this is the set, because this is the home, this would be so the septic is back in here.
Yeah.
And then the well is up in here,
And I'm presuming that the front of your house is on this angle.
yes,
So you're effectively building on the side.
correct.
All right,
Correct.
I understand your case. Is Mr. Grant here to give additional testimony? Mr. Grant?
I am, and I have been sworn in at the beginning of this meeting.
Your address, please.
25W 251 39th Street, Naperville, Illinois 60563.
And what do you have to offer, sir?
Well, I reside directly across the street from April and would probably be the most impacted if there was an impact. And there's not. I'm totally for it. It's very consistent with the rest of the neighborhood designs. So I would hope that this gets approved.
Okay, thank you very much. Anything else from you, Ms. Hayjack?
No, just that I thank everybody for your time and attention in this matter, and I really am great. Like I said, we have been doing this for months now. And I don't know what to say, except thank you very much for taking it under consideration. We've been told many different things, and I feel like this is truly our first opportunity to get in front of somebody who can actually help us.
Well, I'm honored. Okay, I understand your case. You gave a narrative that satisfies the various conditions for a variation, and it's not my job to decide whether you need additional space in your garage, but presuming that that's what you intend, you need to satisfy certain requirements, which I think you have satisfied. So we get a decision from us in the next couple of weeks. The matter then proceeds to the County Development Committee based on this record that's made today and my recommendation, which is what you'll have access to in the next couple of weeks. Then ultimately it goes to the full county board. The dates are November 20 for the recommendation hearing, and then
December 3rd.
December 3 for the full county board.
Development.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Third
Wait a
and-
minute.
Third and 10th.
You just told me the record.
November 20th for recommendation, and then December.
Oh, yeah,
3rd.
I see. So my recommendation will be announced at the November 20 meeting here.
Okay.
And then the development committee is December 3, full county board is December 10. You can attend either of those additional hearings if you care to do so, but you need not. If you don't like my decision, you probably should, but
Is there impact if I don't, if I do like your decision and I choose not to go to the meetings, is there impact on?
That question is beyond my ability to even understand, because until this past week, I thought that I had some general understanding of political realities, but I can no longer
I
make
understand. I understand perfectly.
I don't, you won't be
Yes.
prejudiced,
No. Okay,
okay?
I'm glad to hear that again. Thank
you-
you, everybody. And Dean, I appreciate that.
Great. We'll go off the record. Go on the record in the Invest a Little LLC case. This is a request for a variation to reduce the front yard setback from 30 feet to approximately 22.7 feet for a new house on the existing foundation. Excuse me, the property is in Wayne Township on 4/10 of an acre. The matter was published in the Daily Herald on October 23rd. There are no comments or objections raised with any of the authorities to whom we've circulated this petition. I have been given one exhibit before, which I guess is a site plan survey combination, but I'll need some clarification on that during the hearing, why there are not separate documents. Mr. Little, I recognize your name, and I believe you were sworn in previously, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll ask a couple of questions to clarify the record here. First of all, how long have you lived in this property?
I purchased the property, it was about a year and a half ago. So I'm not currently living there.
Okay. So tell me, tell me a little bit about what's going on. And
Okay, so
building a new
Okay.
house?
no, so basically what happened, the home was a fire. I purchased it to rehab the property. And when they came out and did an inspection, they said it was over 50% damaged. So I'm looking to put the property back together to make it livable.
What was 50% damaged?
It's just the interior, the roof, half of the roof was burned, and the interior, some of the, like all of the drywall, flooring. But structurally, the property is still in good condition. Currently, it's a brick foundation.
Is the garage, the brick and frame garage that I see on this survey site plan, was that existing?
It is brick.
Was that existing?
Yes, that was existing. Nothing has changed. We're not changing the structure of the property at all. We're just putting it back together as it was originally built in 1961, but up to the new code.
Okay. Let's look at the survey and site plan.
Mhm.
Well, I'm a little bit of a loss as to why you need to be here today, but I'll just make the assumption that you're here because you were told to be here, and
Yes, sir.
do you have anything that, so you are not adding anything, you're refurbishing the house?
Just refurbishing the house. We're not changing any structures or anything to the home. But they were
Okay.
saying, I guess, to bring it up to the code, it was the variance from the property.
Okay. Well, I'm satisfied that you're entitled to the relief that you've requested. So I don't have any further questions for you, and I understand there's no comments to be offered by members of the public, is that right? So I'll close the record on this case. You'll get a decision from us shortly. I will announce the decision at the recommendation meeting of the zoning hearing officer, me, on November 20, and then the matter proceeds to the development committee of the county board on December 3rd and December 10th. the full county board will review the record in the case and make the final decision. I don't see. I mean, once again, I think this is a very straightforward matter, so I think you can anticipate at least my decision to be a favorable decision. If you have nothing else, sir, I'm ready to close the hearing.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Good luck with your project.
Thank you very much.
Let's go on the record. This is the petition 24073, the Pinhas petition. We have a request for variation, reduce the lot size for 2 new lots in the R1 zoning district, required 100,000 square feet per lot, approximately 62,858. For proposed lot 1 and 62,495 for proposed lot 2. This is a Wayne Township case. I have a 2.82 acre lot serviced by well and septic. Matter was published in the Daily Herald on November 7. And I have no objections from building, DUDOT. The health department objects, indicating the septic system for the existing home would be located on the newly created vacant lot. Septic system must be located on the same lot as the existing home. And then stormwater simply indicates they need additional information. And no comments of substance to any of the other authorities to whom we've circulated the petition. I have 2 exhibits that have been presented to me. Number 1 is a relatively new site plan, a survey, and number 2 is the site plan simply showing the subdivision of the lot. My name is Robert Carthall, and I'd like to begin by having everybody sworn in that is going to give testimony, and then I'll discuss how we're going to proceed. Okay, so please raise your hands, including the people on the phone who weren't previously sworn in.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony and evidence you're about to give at this time shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes,
Great. When you testify, please begin by stating your name, spelling your last name for the record, and then telling us your address and how close that is in relation to this property. Then tell us whether you support or oppose the petition, and then I'll give each of you just a couple minutes to tell us the reason behind your position. I'll start with Mr. or Ms. Who's Pinhas? Is that you, sir? Okay, would you identify yourself, please, and spell your name and give us your address?
Yeah, my name is John, John, last name Ramzan, R-A-M-Z-A-N, Ramzan.
R-A-M-Z-A-N?
Yeah.
Oh, Pinhas Inc.
Yeah, I
Is
own
that-
the company, the Penhouse.
Okay. Okay, go right ahead.
I'm trying to divide the property because my daughter wanna stay close to me and I wanna build for her the house. And Other, actually the pathway and she don't wanna go far away to me and we have a four kids, one of the disabled, my son, and he's gonna be stay with me whole life. But second, my daughter was 19 years old. And she wanna be married to build the house next to me. That's.
Who lives at the property now?
you guys are killing me.
Who lives with you?
You're killing me. I'm on a Zoom meeting.
And me and I have a relative, a couple people that were there.
A couple of relatives live with you?
Yeah, they just came my country and that's came.
Speak up just a little bit.
Yeah, they came from the just country, from my country,
Okay,
Pakistan. They stay with.
okay. Is there anything else to support your case?
Nothing, I'm just asking to, my mother passed away and she don't wanna go far away and she wanna stay with next to me.
Okay, did you receive our publication or letter that indicates what you have to prove at the hearing?
Yeah, I have my representative, Richard. Can I have,
Richard is your representative?
yeah, but he helping me to zone, whatever. He knows the technical point and all that.
Okay. Richard
Yes,
on the line. What is
correct.
What is your last name, sir?
My last name is Steinbrecher, Steinbrecher. I'm the surveyor who surveyed the property and theoretically split it.
Okay. And you've been offered as the person that's gonna prove up the zoning request? What do you have to offer?
When John wanted to subdivide the property, I surveyed it. I determined the square footage. I determined that it was an R1 zoning and that splitting it in half did not meet the R1 zoning. So I spoke with Paul Haas, who I believe is in this meeting. I thought I saw him. I contacted Paul, asked him what he felt the best proceed, the next step would be, and that was to ask for a conditional use on the lot size. Meeting all the other criterias, bulk restrictions, setbacks. I believe it was just lot size, area wise, that we were not meeting. So I believe the R1 requires 100 square feet or 100,000 square feet, and we have approximately 62, I believe, if I remember right, which would be approximately an acre and a half. Also, I'd like to add that I believe, I can't remember, I'm in my truck right now, but I believe to the south, the property across St. Charles Road and the property to the east across Fair Oaks Road is currently zoned the R2 also. So we'd be within, we'd be meeting that.
You'd be meeting that?
We're adjacent to an R2 zoning, and the lot size would be more than what's required across the streets. If that's clear, if I'm making myself clear.
I just want to be clear about one part of your testimony. You indicated that you were told to request a conditional use, or that you've asked for a conditional use, but rather you've asked for a variation. So you understand that?
Well, I do now. That might have, I thought that we were asking for a conditional use. And I had asked, to clarify that, I'd asked Paul, like, would a variance be correct or whatever, but filling out the online, the portal, when filling out that portal, maybe by mistake, I guess we've asked for a variance instead.
Okay. I'm not really concerned about any conversation that you had with Mr. Haas or any other staff member concerning what
Okay.
you need to do. It appears to me that he told you in order to subdivide the lot, you need zoning relief of some fashion.
Correct.
Okay, well, and this, do you want to add anything to that testimony, sir?
Only I just know the technical point is he know it, and second, I just requesting if the land is built for a house for my daughter, one thing, and she can say that she will have it. And her father, her mother will pass away already, and she don't want to go far.
Okay. Are you ready for me to take public comment? All right, I want to take comments from all of the members of the public. I don't need any repetitive comments. I want to start with anybody who wants to offer testimony in support of this petition, and then I'll ask for remarks that are either neutral or opposed to the petition. When you begin your remarks, please tell me I support or I oppose. And then, as I said, give me your reasons why. So how should we begin? Let's see, I have a couple of people behind me and a couple of people online. Is there anyone here? Well, first of all, anyone that supports this petition, please raise your hand and I'll take your comments first. No one online? And no one here? All right, then I presume that the rest are neutral or opposed. Is there anyone that is here as an attorney representing a group? Is there anyone here from a municipality? Is there anyone here who, although you may be a member of the homeowners association, that's not what I'm asking. Are you here in your official capacity to represent a homeowner association? I don't see anybody. So are all neighbors? Yep. Okay, neighbors, how should we begin? I'd like to sort of go down the line.
I'll go first if you.
Yeah, okay, and if you
My
go first, then I'll go around here and behind me, and then I'll take the people online, okay?
Okay, my name is Steph Curran, Curran. And we are on the board, but we're not here in that capacity. The
Okay.
board is aware of this and we met last week about it.
Let me just clarify, if the board has a position on this case, you can give me some letterhead or some indication from the secretary of the board what that position is in writing, and then I'll take it
Okay, I
as.
can get that from Ann and Laura.
Whether you do or not is up to the board, but
Okay.
that's how it works.
Okay,
Great,
and
so
they send
Ms.
it
Curran,
to
send it to,
Jessica?
yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm John's neighbor to the west. Our properties touch, he's been a very nice neighbor, but I don't want this. His property is on a hill. The tenant before him cut down 30 trees and it has flooded my property for 5 years now. So I have concerns about water damage, but not only that, I bought this home for privacy and space, and everyone that buys in this area sees the zoning laws and rules, right? It's when you buy the property, it's right there for you to know that this is how this area is zoned R1. So I do have some neighbors that are just within the immediate block area and across the street that did sign a petition. Is that allowed to present?
Yes. Can I see the petition? Okay,
I typed it up myself, so I don't know,
you typed these,
I took the wording off the letter that Jessica had sent out.
all right, who circulated the petition?
I did, there's 3 of us.
Oh, gosh.
We took different parts of the neighborhood.
All right, let me read this. So I have to have a legend on each of these pages that says, I am the person that circulated the petition, and I certify that the people who signed the petition signed in my presence. And then that person, the circulator, has to have their signature notarized. All of that can be, I'm not going to send you home to go to the bank and get a notary, assuming that I can get a cooperative notary here, and we can help you with that. We can help you with that legend on the bottom, and you can submit it when we close the hearing today. So could you take these back and,
Sure.
well, I'll tell you what, I'll write. I circulated the above petition. Those persons who signed did so in my presence. You know what, I'm gonna put I affirm that I circulated. And then whoever needs to sign this, sign away, and then we'll get your signature notarized. And then copy that
Okay.
on each of the other pages. So that we finished with all of the niceties. What's your story? What's your position
I'm against it.
and
I'm
reason?
I'm concerned about water flooding to my property because it is on a very steep hill and I'm already struggling with that. And also, I bought this property zoned this way so that I would have privacy.
Okay. Thanks. Can I go around this way, as I indicated earlier? Would you care to be next?
Sure, Irene Benter, last name Bentr. My home is 2 homes over the property, on the northeast side. Yeah, I'm strongly against it as well. I've lived there over 30 years. I'm a senior citizen. And, most of our, if not all of our homes are one-family homes. We, raised our families, and it would change our whole area to smaller properties. It would change our property values. And it would have impact on traffic. As the gentleman presented, there is numerous family members or families living on his property already. And I would like to keep it as a family-oriented area. So I think that we ought to be here heard. And again, I'm strongly against it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Next.
I'm Naomi Lachetta, and I live kitty corner from John and on Fair Oaks. And I've lived there for about 27 years. And one of the reasons that we purchased there is specifically because of the beauty of the distance in properties, as she said. In addition to that, that house that's going to be subdivided is on the corner of St. Charles and Fair Oaks. And that corner is consistently accidents. I mean, because you can't see the traffic coming on Fair Oaks, and I have had to go out there and help people injured with ice or something when my husband was alive. Yeah, it's a dangerous corner, and adding more traffic already. We have the new homes that are being built on Lie Street, duplexes that are going to add to the traffic. Now we're going to add it right on the corner where the accidents are occurring, and my home is nearby, and it's going to devalue the property value.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Bob Demovic,
Spelling?
D-U-J-M-O-V is in Victory, I-C, Robert. I live down a little bit on Fair Oaks, but my basic question is, I live next to properties where they had 5 acres, and at the time, is there enough land there for well and septic to be operated efficiently? At the time that they were building those houses, it was like 2.5 acres you need for well and septic. Now you're gonna be putting 2 well and septic things right next to one another on, what, 60,000 square feet? I don't know. I tried to look up the requirement. What is the requirement for that area?
Well, let me just say, the first thing that we've heard already from the health department is that there would need to be new septic systems. I don't mean to indicate that I'm an expert in septic, but I've had a lot of cases in the last several years that indicate that there are now modern septic systems which take up far less space. So I believe that if you were to ask that question to the health department or public works department or building department, they would tell you that there is some possibility of accommodating septic. That's not just, but there are other issues that have been suggested here. Do you have any commonality with any of the other remarks that have been indicated, or you just have that question?
That's just my basic question.
And do you want me to indicate that you're opposed, or that you just
I'm
asked the
opposed.
question?
Be honest with you, the property is very well poorly maintained. The weeds grow this high. It's like Nice.
Okay,
It's a ghetto, to be honest with you.
all right, thank you, sir.
Yes,
Who's
okay.
next? And this lady,
I'm Nancy Turner. TURNER. 2N765 Morning Saturday. And I have been here for 59 years. The Littlewood area was developed 60 years ago. And it was, I thought it was minimum 3 acres. I have 3 acres. I border his property by 3 corner next door to Stephanie. Yeah. And I think that, yeah, I am opposed. Because I think it would change the character of the area. And I also think it would set a precedent. It would happen in all the other properties. And I think it would devalue my property for resale.
okay, thank you very much, sir.
Bruce Carroll, KERILL, 28W416 Diversity. Down the street from the property. I'm opposed to the property because I actually thought it was 2.5 acres you need for well and septic. And they just built those houses next to Mr. Demovic's house. And when they just got done with them, I'm pretty sure it was 2.5 acres with a new septic system. And I don't think there's an efficient septic system to run to a house in that small lot.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And now behind me,
I'm Shane Hard. I live at 28W455 St. Charles Road. It's right across the street from the gentleman's house. And actually, the way that the lot is going to be divided, his driveway, the new driveway will come out right in front of our house. That St. Charles Street is already very busy. People speed. Me and my wife have complained about speeding up and down that road. They put the speeding signs out there and everything. But I will agree with the lady that there are tons of accidents at that intersection there, and they whip around that corner and they come flying down St. Charles Road, and another driveway being there would be a safety hazard. I'd like to add that in there. But changes, it would change the feel of the neighborhood. Obviously, we'd be more condensed. This variation that we're talking about is not like a 5 or 10% variation. We're talking about almost 40%. I mean, we're asking for a 40% variation. So, I mean, if I were to do that with my land, I could get 3 houses on it. You know, and I don't think anybody wants that. And this would set the precedent for everybody to start doing that, which, you know, I would be the next in line to do it if this goes through. Driveway location is a safety hazard, and yeah, I agree. The duplexes, we're adding 24 duplexes, which is essentially 48 homes, and I figured 2 cars per home. We're adding an extra 100 cars than 2 miles down the street from us, and here we want to add another with maybe multiple families in there. I'm opposed to it.
okay, thank you, sir. Next,
Carol, I live at 28W416 Diversity. And it's just off of Fair Oaks in the corner. I agree with all the stuff that they said and the septic thing, because we have problems with our septic. And like, I can imagine if another house would go in there, Stephanie would have more problems too, because she is getting flooding already. We get that and we have to have it pumped out a couple times a year or more just because of that. And I oppose.
okay, thank you. Sir,
John McCombs, MCCUMBS, 21760 Fair Oaks Road. I am his direct neighbor to the north. We have various concerns. That one would be the water handling issue, because we have 2 septic systems where our house is built. With heavy rains, and he is on higher grade, it all runs into our yard. So with heavy rains, we could have, you know, at times there have been a foot of water there. And I think with one more residence there, there's gonna be more runoff because the back half of this property is heavily overgrown. Property's not taking care of it all. On numerous occasions, I've gone to his house to plow his driveway. So in the winter, there's no maintenance going on. It's an eyesore. You have multiple families living there. Personally, right now, I don't believe he is living there. It's a zoo.
okay, thank you, sir. And the lady,
Stacy McCombs, MCCOMBS, North 760 Fair Oaks Road in I'm Sean's wife, his direct neighbor. The only thing I wanted to add, I oppose, and I agree with what everyone said, with him not living there. I had a package.
Who said that I'm not living there?
I'll come back to you.
The postmaster told me when a package was at his house, that John told the postmaster that he has another house in West Chicago. So I'm not sure, like we said before, there's a ton of families there. I don't know who's.
There's no one there maintaining the property for a period of time,
Okay.
and then he'll show up and cut the grass. Another thing about all the traffic and the accidents, 2 weeks ago, my wife was T-boned directly in front of that intersection. So,
Yeah, I'm familiar with the intersection. Because I pass there, from time to time. Okay, thank you very much. I'll go on to this gentleman.
Bernard Madden, Madden, I live at 28 Diversity Parkway. That's at the very north end of the Littlewood subdivision. The subdivision ends on the south side of Diversity. And it's been my understanding that that whole subdivision was covered by a covenant when it was first developed that required minimum 2 or 2.5 acre lots. So to allow this, break that down, changes the character of that whole area. On our street, potentially they could add 8 houses on our short street. If they were, this becomes a precedent. If you let one in, that becomes a precedent for somebody else asking for the same thing. And to me, I have not seen the covenant, but to my understanding, a covenant is not subject to creation requirement through the county because it's a required thing, and there might be more of a legal process.
I'll address that in just a sentence or two, but do you have anything else?
No, so I object to it.
Okay, deed restrictions and covenants are indeed controlling, but it's a layer of control that is in addition to zoning. So I don't take covenants into consideration. 100 years ago, I had a case that somebody wanted to have 97 cats in an apartment. The apartment rules were, I'm exaggerating, the apartment rules were entirely separate. I made the decision based on zoning requirements. And assuming I would have approved it, they would have had the additional problems with their landlord. So that's how that works. It's just a different layer entirely. Now, can I go to the people who are present by Zoom? Who'd like to go first?
Melissa Winburn.
Okay, where are you?
Our picture went off.
Picture went
Lower left.
Oh, okay, I see you, or I don't see you, but I see your name. Go right ahead.
Hi, my name is Melissa Winburn. I have been sworn. I live at 3 North 081 Morningside Avenue in West Chicago. I live on the corner of Morningside and Cape. I am at the bottom of Cape Avenue, and I have a swale in my front yard, SWALE, and my topography map for this property, which I purchased in December of 21, shows that I am drainage for all properties who are northeast of me, closest to Fair Oaks, and the water comes down my yard and then goes into my culvert underneath Morningside and then goes directly to the DuPage River. So if more water, more impact, more burden on this Littlewood subdivision neighborhood affected the flood status of the DuPage River, which runs right across from my house, that puts an extra burden on all the properties that back to the DuPage River on the other side of Morningside for me. My neighbors across the street whose yards back to the DuPage River, which then backs to Old Wayne Golf Course. So I actually was going to purchase a different property here on Morningside, and that property sits lowest. I won't disclose the address because property values are key, but the DuPage River has a lot of burden on it from all over DuPage County, and any additional burden on that river is going to be a problem. I used to live in a floodplain. I'm very familiar with NFIP, with FEMA. So I won't talk a lot more about the river, but I am going to say that the swale for this neighborhood drainage does run through my front yard. I have had conversation with Paul Haas about this issue. I've met Jessica before. I was in their office approximately 2 years ago discussing things with improvements to my property. In other concerns I have are wildlife, indigenous trees that root systems are not adapted to excessive water, placing an additional burden on the root systems of these trees. We have a lot of wildlife in this area that we'd like to preserve. There are a lot of beekeepers in this neighborhood. And when we have to improve a property, we are upsetting the ecosystem. This is not intelligent. Furthermore, Old Wayne Golf Course already floods. I have lots of friends and family members who are members there who can't golf there, and they pay dues and they can't golf because of the already existing burden on the DuPage River. On top of that, I concur with everyone who has spoken so far in so much as property values, water table issues, because we keep putting more and more septic systems in the ground. And anytime that you have to take earth out, you are upsetting the mantle of the earth. I also understand there are new and improved septic systems, mechanical, anaerobic septic systems. I'm very familiar. I used to live on smaller property that had a septic system as well. So there are many concerns, and I just want to state that if I were afforded, I just found out about this whole situation on Tuesday from Steph Curran. Thank you for your service. We appreciate you, when she arrived at my house with the petition. I would appreciate if the county board could, no disrespect intended, but if they could give some consideration to extending the notification parameters beyond a mere 300 feet, considering that my property is absorbing the burden of water runoff for basically everybody who sits up at the top of the hill. And nobody who lives further than me, which are the people across the street that back to the river, I'm positive none of them have any knowledge of this. So thank you so much for giving me the floor, and I won't take up any more of your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I hear from maybe Ms. Pearson?
Hi, Carolyn Pearson. I was sworn in, Pearson, and I am the secretary for the Association of Wayne Center. I will be providing a letter opposing the request officially from the board, and I firmly believe everything that everybody has said, plus I am afraid that by allowing this request, we are going to send a very dangerous precedent for those people who wish to have their property as large as they possibly can and for what they are paying for it. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is Erin Ryan?
Yes, I'm here. My name is Erin Ryan. I live at 28 West 455 St. Charles Road. We are kind of diagonal from this property and the white Robert Benjamin house. We oppose the position to put another house there and make an exception. We have the same concerns that once you make an exception like this, once it opens up the door to other people requesting the same exception. When we purchased this house 15 years ago, I did purchase it for the area. I appreciated the fact that the houses were spread apart. I appreciated the privacy of the area, and there have been a number of changes to our neighborhood in the last 10 years that have really changed the dynamics of this area. One of them being the lack of privacy that the bike path has taken from us, and adding another house that is diagonal to us takes away from our privacy even more than the current bike path does that we did not want. I also echo the comments about the water flooding situation from the DuPage River. I brought these concerns up when they put the bike path in and commented that the flooding in this area is something that needs to be made note of, because every time we get a heavy rain, it floods down by the river and all of our properties are affected. And especially Shirley Kasmar, who's to my west, her property floods every single time it rains. So I am opposed to putting in another house on that property. My husband and I also walk quite frequently in this neighborhood, and we can very visually see that there are a large number of cars at this property. So I have no evidence that there are multiple families living in this house, but I do feel strongly that the indication that there are multiple cars there tells me that this house is not a single family residence.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mary in Rocky.
Mary and Croce, yes. I live on Fair Oaks Road. My home is positioned to look directly at the new home that is proposed to be built. And for everybody, and I also oppose, just like everyone else, and I agree with everybody else's opinion on the area. We have large country lots that we want to have privacy. There's a ton of traffic. And to Aaron's point about having all those cars there, and the concern on septic, again, if it's not being used as a single family, I don't know like what kind of septic can handle that extra burden with multiple families living in there. And I agree that I have no evidence of that, but there are definitely a large amount of vehicles in there, and then the traffic congestion and just like everything that everybody else said. But yes, I am opposed.
Thank you very much. And then let's see. How about Ms. Lucas?
So I apologize, I've lost my voice, but my name is Katie Lucas. I live at 3N125 Morningside Avenue.
If it's easier for you, you can indicate that you oppose and that you agree with the prior comments.
Okay, I do. I oppose and I agree with everything that's been said. And I did purchase the property based on the beauty of the large lots. But I oppose because of many of the negative comments being said.
Okay.
Thank
I'm not
you.
trying to cut you off. I'm trying to accommodate your voice.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, thank you very much. And now Mr. Buckner.
Actually, the next case.
Oh, well, what's he on this case?
Heather.
We'll hear from you in the next case, unless you'd like to move into this neighborhood. All right, then, Heather?
Yes. Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Heather Philippek. I live at 2N711 Wayne Oaks Lane, just east, directly across the street from the property in question. And so far I've agreed with, pardon me?
Spell your last name.
It's Filipek.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I oppose to there being another house built for the same reasons that everyone has mentioned. The property is not well kept. There are multiple cars out there constantly, RVs coming and going. I don't know if they're selling cars off the property, but that was what I had heard. You're seeing different cars at all hours of the day. When they're coming and going, they're shining their lights through my dining room window. I moved out of the city purposely 13 years ago into this neighborhood because of the size of the lots. And I think if we allow him to build on it, we're just going to have another city. I didn't move out here to live in the city.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Aaron, we did Aaron.
Oh, I didn't get him? Oh, you switched his spot there. Okay, Patrick? Sharf?
Yes, I'm Patrick Scharf. I'm Vice President of the Wayne Association, Scharf, SCHARF. And as Carolyn had mentioned, a letter is going to be going out in regards to that, and we are in opposition of it.
Okay, thank you, sir. No further public comment. I'll go back to the petitioner for a concluding remark.
Yeah, they keep saying multiple cars. If I have 8 cars myself, and I can name it right now, what I have 4 kids.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You're under oath.
Yeah.
there is a limit as to the number of vehicles that you can have on the property, and you need to take care not to make a statement that is
No,
not in your best interest.
No, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna under oath. I have 8 cars, 4 cars that stay in my other house. And 3 cars here and a park mostly time. And which one I use it, my daughter use it, my wife use it. And sometimes when we come back, 4 cars that we usually use it. If one break, something happen, and we do it. And 4 cars in my other house, 3 cars sitting here the outside. And the 2 cars we use, they usually come back and it happen. My new family that came, they have 2 kids and they maybe soon gonna leave. That is my family relative. And I only husband, wife, and 4 kids I have. All the under 19.
Okay.
Yeah. And mostly the people here, they posing. How many people posing next door to me? They have 2 buildings. They have already built the 2 buildings bigger than a house. This side I have a barn, a horse, the lady have a horse, the Dan have a horse. And they have 2, 3 buildings already there. And the front of my other side, they already split the lot. Somebody bought the neighborhood, they already split the lot. Less than me, which one I'm splitting. And how many in the front and back, everyone have almost acre, less than acre, some acre land. Couple lands, couple houses, they have bigger houses. And they have land of 3 acres, maybe less than 3 acres. Mostly houses, you go around, they check how much it. One, this lady, I don't know, name that. Her house is probably 3 acres. And yeah, 3 acres, yeah, and next door to me, they have 2 big buildings and they have almost 3 acres too. And I have almost 3 acres my too. And if they go to cross the street, everyone have a less than acre place. And they all of the plane here, the politician. I'm just asking, want to put my daughter the house small. I can put the drainer if they have a problem. I can put the drainer to put in whatever drain and other one. I can put the pipe or whatever the Dan don't have the problem. I already talked to Dan. I say I'm going to put here. The pipe drain and you cannot get a flood. She told me I get a flood sometimes the rain is coming. And I talked to her, I can help you, I can put here the pipe, the water, my lot, the water is not going in your lot. And I can do that. And ask if she, yeah, already did. And I gonna, everyone, I can promise it because my kids live there, I live there. The thing is, I just want to be, my daughter want to close to me, and I want to build a small house for her.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. I'll close the hearing.
Sir?
Meg, I
Sir,
was gonna ask,
can I add one more statement?
No, I can only go to any individual once. And I already took your statement, sir. I apologize, but I can't go back to, or else I just open things up.
Okay, it was just regarding the number of cars from 6 to 8, but it's zoned for, so.
You can, I'm gonna close the record in the case with the exception of the additional material that we'll take from the homeowners association, so you can incorporate any comments you want in that. But otherwise, I'll close the record. The decision on this case will be announced on November 20th at a roughly 3 o'clock hearing that's held in this room. You may attend by Zoom, or you can stay in touch with the staff. All I'm going to do is read the decision, which will have been prepared in advance. And there won't be any public comment or debate about that at that time. The matter then proceeds to the County Development Committee based on this record and my recommendation, and that is to be held on December 3rd. And then finally, the full county board will consider this case on December 10th. So that's the schedule. That's how it proceeds from here. Thank you all very much for your comments. Thank you, sir, for your presentation, and I'll wrap up. So
Thank you.
if there's any procedural questions, well, there's likely to be 27 different questions, so could you,
I can notarize.
2402, the Goyne petition, this is a request for conditional use to increase the number of hens permitted on the subject property from 5 to 23, and a variation to reduce the interior side setback for an existing chicken coop and chicken run from 25 feet to approximately 6 feet. We have a approximately 1 acre lot serviced by well and septic in Winfield Township. We have objections from the building department. No other comments from the authorities to whom we've circulated the petition. I have a number of email comments that have been submitted and other items that are part of our record. And I've been given what I guess to be a combined survey site plan, which is dated 2019 or 19 something. I can't really read it. No, it's dated July 19 and then it's cut off on my copy. So I would need, if this matter moves forward, I would need an updated survey and site plan from an appropriate surveyor. Who are you folks?
We are neighbors.
Neighbors? And then we have the petitioner on the phone, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, would you all raise your hand and be sworn in, please? Oh, jeez. Waiting for the lady who's not sitting to my left to swear you in, so I will. Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you will give in this proceeding will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please indicate by saying I do.
I do.
All right.
I do.
Very much. Then all I see is Kristen's iPhone. Are you Ms. Goyne?
Yes. Am I not showing up?
No,
I see your iPhone. I don't see your picture, but I don't need that.
I'm not super technologically advanced, so I'm not sure why my picture isn't showing up. Okay.
you have to,
I
I
don't
you
get
have
that.
to
Okay,
enable it.
sir, it's okay. I don't need, there are plenty of people that testify just by cell phone. So go right ahead.
But I don't know how to get to it. So my daughter's here. She's helping me. We'll see if that happens.
I don't care if I see your picture, I just
That's
want you
fine.
to tell me.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I said, go right ahead and proceed.
Okay, I'm not familiar with the procedure. So the situation was that we had a neighbor that is new to the neighborhood, and they put in a fence that was 3/4 of the way down our lot line. And so this spring, because it was an awkward thing to have it 3/4 of the way down, I decided to have us just finish off the rest of the fence. That neighbor was mad that we finished off the fence because they couldn't get to our electric box, but they wouldn't need to get to electric box. That is a ComEd
box and they have right to come into our yard at any point in time when they need access to the box. So they filed against us because of the fence, which the fence has all been taken care of. We have, that has been a separate issue. There was never an issue with any of the chickens. So, but when that inspector came out to look at the fence, they saw the chickens and said it wasn't allowed to have this many chickens. So I was not aware of that. We've had the chickens since 2011. At that time, when I went on the
But can I
county
just stop you?
websites,
Can-
go
I
ahead.
want to make sure I heard you. You're not aware that you've had the chickens?
No, I'm aware of the chickens. I was not aware that there was a law, is what
Okay.
I'm saying is, so 2011, we went on the county sites and talked to people that we could talk to about having chickens in our yard. And there was technically no law that we could see on the books. The inspector that came for our fence said that there was a law put on the books 5 years ago. And so basically the coop, everything has been in place since 2011. We have more than 5 chickens. We had a family of 6. Chickens, the way it goes is you buy them, they're babies, they don't produce for about 5 to 6 months. And we don't have a habit of killing older hens because they're not laying. It's just not kind of our style to just kill animals for the sake of killing animals. So we allow the older ones to get old and die while we're raising up new ones to produce eggs for our family. Chickens don't lay eggs every day. They lay eggs maybe every other day. So to have 25 chickens, you might get, 10 eggs, if that, a day. So again, that was the mindset that we had. That's why we have as many as we do. Again, we were not aware that a new law was put in the book 5 years ago that limited us to 5 chickens. So, when all of that came about, we then started looking into seeing what the grandfather clause was. And I guess there is some kind of minor piece of legislation in your paperwork that says if there is no law, then it's against the law. So that would bring us to where we're at now, where I'm asking for conditional use. Nobody in my neighborhood has had a problem with the chickens. Actually, everybody kind of likes them.
Okay, you have to make a case for conditional use and you have to make a case for variation. Is that basically your testimony on both?
Well, the conditional use, as I said, explains the fact that, to have chickens, to only allow 5 chickens, if they're not laying eggs every day, you're not feeding a family. And the goal was for us to be able to have fresh eggs. Yes. So the coop is where it's at because the neighbors who had lived in the house prior to these new neighbors, where we were placing it, which would have been probably within the recommended 25 feet and all of that away from lot lines, they asked us to not put it there because they did not want to see it as they came up their driveway every day. So we moved it to where it's at now to accommodate those old neighbors. So again, I'm not familiar with these procedures to the level that you are, so I'm not sure exactly what you want me to say more than that.
I really can't advise you about that. You have to just make your case according to the materials that we sent concerning what needs to be proved.
Yeah, I mean, they basically said that I needed to state that we've had chickens for a long time. I do have emails from the company that we were buying chickens from that show that we've had well over the 5 for the last 12, 13 years.
Yeah, you're suggesting some grandfather circumstance. My understanding that previously no chickens were permitted, none, 0. And
As
that the ordinance was amended to permit up to 5.
Again, the reason we had them is because there was no law on the book that you couldn't have them. But
Yeah,
there is
that's-
a law stating somewhere, which again, for
Okay, law is what it is, Kristen, so I'll look into that. Anything else?
no.
Okay, who are you? Would you like to make comments in this case? If so, you have to tell us, tell me your name, spell your last name, tell me your address, then tell me whether you support or oppose.
Okay, well, the story is that we are.
Let's start with your name and spell your name.
Sorry. My name is Paul Smith and my wife's Joyce.
SMITH?
SMITH.
Okay, and where do you live in relation to this property?
On the back, we adjust this property on the back,
Okay,
the back of their property.
and do you support or oppose or neutral?
Well, I guess the issue is that the chicken coop attracts, coyotes.
Oh,
And also,
oh my God.
We've had several instances where, in essence, the chickens have been loose in the yard and coyotes have come and
Yeah.
couple years
I'm
ago.
not sure I want to, you're presenting me a Ziploc bag with something in it. I'm not sure I want to include that in the record.
chicken
Because,
feathers.
well, wait, because we'll have to keep that like, for years. Why don't you just describe what that is and I'll take notice that you presented it.
But these are chicken feathers that we gathered last week.
There was 2 chickens that didn't make it
Oh,
And they
with
were,
the coyote and I saw 2 coyotes, so.
okay.
so.
So you oppose,
Well, the issue is that the chickens wind up being attractive to the coyote population.
I got it.
And to the hawks too. I see them circling around.
And,
And they've got a
Okay,
good,
one at a time, guys, if you can.
okay. I guess the other issue is that there's a rooster amongst them. And the rooster makes noise in the morning. And when we have guests in our house,
they
it's
wake
an
up
issue.
early. The rooster gets them.
Okay, I understand your concern.
So that's it in a nutshell.
Great, thank you very much. I'll go back to Ms. Goin for a concluding remark.
Okay. So you're excusing us now?
No, you could stay until we close the hearing,
Okay.
and then I'll also explain how this proceeds.
Okay.
But Ms. Goin, do you have any final remarks?
Yeah, so I was told when all of this started happening a few months ago that we were no longer allowed to have our chickens out. And so we have been doing trying to do that. I have been gone for the last month on a Mediterranean cruise, and when I was out of town, my husband by accident let them out, not realizing all the dynamics of what's gone on. So that did happen. There was an attack. I was gonna say coyotes and hawks are going to be around our neighborhood one way or the other. We are surrounded by forest preserve, and you have deer coming around, you have all sorts of wildlife because of the location of our home, surrounded by these forest preserves. And animals smell animals, whether they're 5 or 23, it's not gonna matter. You know, what is dealing with that. So the big issue is that we shouldn't be letting them out any longer. And my husband did get reprimanded for allowing them out when I was out of town. We obviously don't want them to be attacked and killed either.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll close the hearing. I will render my decision at my recommendation meeting, which is to be held at 2:30 on November 20. You do not, oh, I'm sorry, at 3 p.m. on November 20. You do not need to attend. If you choose to attend, you can Zoom in or phone in. Again, no comment will be taken at that. I will simply read the written report, which will be prepared in advance of November 20. So then the matter proceeds to the County Development Committee, which will consider this record and my recommendation on December 3. And then finally, it goes to the full county board on December 10. That's how we proceed, and that's the schedule. So with that, I'll close the hearing. Thank you very much. We're on the record in 24076, the Bloomberg petition, which is a request for variation to reduce the front setback for a new pole sign from the required 15 feet to approximately 2 feet. This property is in Bloomingdale Township on Lake Street, B2 General Business District. It's about 0.86 acres, serviced by well and septic. The matter was published in the Daily Herald on October 23, and I have no comments or objections from any authorities to whom we've circulated the petition. I have a survey from 1998. Have you presented a survey from 1998?
That sounds right, actually. The survey I received from Mr. Bloomberg was, actually, I have it pulled up here. You're most likely right. You're looking at the same thing as I am.
And then you've
Checking
given
it.
me a sign with, you've given me apparently a site plan, which is a blow up of the survey with some pencil drawings.
That is, yeah, I had the full survey and then I zoomed in on this one to show the placement of the proposed sign, which is just next to the existing one to match the setback of that. That was the intention of that zoom in.
And it's okay. And then what is this number 3, which shows 5K autos? It's a rendering, maybe some sort of a photoshopped.
That is an image of the proposed sign that would be going in front of or next to the auto body location with the same setback.
Okay.
Same dimension, same height, same everything as the existing one in the
It doesn't do
background.
much for me because it's a Photoshop drawing, which is meaningless. All right, tell me your case, sir.
Well, the customer over here at 5K Autos is looking for a similar pole sign to the one that is next to his landlord at Bloomberg. A 4x8 illuminated pole sign for Bloomberg Auto. And so I replicated the size and height and everything, size, height, and setback.
Who are you?
Just as Bloomberg to be proposed for 5K Autos on his site.
Who are you?
We are the sign manufacturer,
And
designer, and installer.
What's your name?
Mike Berker.
Okay, what else do you have?
Besides that, the install would be on a steel pole, installed on a concrete base, going properly into 48 to 52 inches into the ground, installed exactly like Bloomberg has been installed on the property next to it. So if you're familiar with that property, that sign, it would be a mimic of that, just with this business's information on it. It will be LED illuminated right off the road.
Do you have anything else to offer?
I'm just offering to help out my client get more exposure on his dealership. He's a little bit set back from the road, and he's a little bit struggling right now with sales. So he proposed this sign, and I gave him a design. He likes what he sees, and I didn't want to deviate too much from what is already existing over at Bloomberg. So that was my intention, to not go ask for anything more than what Bloomberg already has, but to nearly match it and not really ruin the aesthetics of what's already there on that part of Lake Street.
Well, aesthetics is only part of the loaf. Requirement is 15 feet and you want 2 feet?
Yes, 15 feet. I'd be happy to do 15 feet, but that goes actually into his parking lot, into the asphalt. There's only a small patch of land that you can see on the rendering, and I centered it on that grass, basically where the Bloomberg pole is also located. So if we go 15-foot setback, we're going into where his cars for sale are parked at. So I'd be okay with moving all the way to the edge of the grass on his lot. So the sign would essentially overhang over his lot, which I'm sure he'd be okay with, I'd be okay with. That would increase the setback to closer appease what you're looking for, but the 15 feet, yeah, would go into the asphalt and take away one of his parking spots.
Okay, it's not my custom to sort of, try to find a compromise at these hearings. I have to decide, whether you've proved a case for what you request. If you're amending your request, then you should probably ask for a new public hearing. But
No, I'm not. No, based on you saying that, I'm not amending it. I don't know how loose or, if this is not, I know it's not a negotiation of any type, but if it were to be approved, we're set. If it were to not be approved based on what I proposed, I guess I would have to come back with a new amended setback, which would probably be in the range of 5 or 6 feet instead of 2. But at this time, that's for further conversation. At this time, I would like to leave it at the 2-foot setback to match the existing setback of the sign adjacent to it.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll indicate that there's no public comment to be heard. My decision will be communicated at the recommendation hearing at 3 o'clock on November 20th. And from there, the matter proceeds based on the record to the County Development Committee on December 3rd, and then finally to the full county board on December 10th. So that's all we have. I'll close the hearing. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. I'll receive correspondence via email on the updates, correct? On the updates, because I can attend those meetings?
Yeah, you can attend, but there's no testimony. It's just, I'm just gonna read the report.
I'll just hear about it. It's okay.
Thanks. Okay, to conclude the meeting today, I'll indicate that there is no old business and no new business to be considered, and therefore we will adjourn our meeting. Thank you very much.